Your cells, you got 73 cells, I can wake up. Get up about 3 hours before time. You ever get up sometime wrong and you thought it was one time and it wasn't? Have you ever had your alarm clock go off and you cut it off and went back to sleep and woke up scared because it was just 4 hours? It was just 10 minutes. You know it was 4 hours. The universe can do that. It give you 4 hours and yet it's just 10 minutes so you can still get to that old bad job. But most of the time, if you wake up like 3 hours before time to go to work, just sit around the house, relax, be cool, meditate, do yourself, you'll be so mellow you won't even go to work. Do that for 3 days, you won't have to go to work. But having a job is not what God meant. Why, you work for somebody? Get up out of bed, go to some job, be hateful, people be hateful, you be hateful, be scared and all that kind of stuff. That's why I told my old lady, baby, you have to stop working. She was at the University of Chicago, had a good job. Ain't no good job, baby. What do you mean? Baby, it was 27 below zero. Okay? And I saw you stand on that bus and I used to trick her. I said, baby, let me stand with you. I knew she was going to say no, because she was that nice. I ain't about to stand out no business. They were stupid enough to go to work. And go down to the President University of Chicago was in the Caribbean. I said, please. I had too much sense for that. You remember your child was 6 years old? Remember that little Cuban boy was 6 years old? Don't you think if you'd have died in front of him, he'd be asking, where's mommy? We looked at that boy for 6 months. He never asked about mommy, right? That's why you know it didn't happen. Huh? A 6-year-old boy pulled onto an inner tube in the middle of the ocean with sharks for 50 hours. That's 2 days, 2 hours, and nobody say, when did he go to sleep? You ain't going to sleep holding the inner tube. Huh? Plus, he's in that drug interdiction area. The Coast Guard would have seen him, or the satellite would have picked him up. Y'all crazy. And Castro is our friend. Castro went along with that trick with us. Okay, you saw what happened, didn't you? We just okayed medicine and stuff to Castro. Castro the biggest punk thug trick on the planet. And y'all like him. Castro got a $3 trillion a year economy. How many of y'all know that? Trillion. Why? It's the #1 tourist place in the world. Why? Because white folks with money ain't white unless they go to Caribbeans in the wintertime. That's why all them colonial governments colonize one of them little small countries over there to make bananas. Nobody want no bananas. To get sun and fun. Cuba is the only country in the Caribbean that a white man run it. They feel comfortable being there. Huh? 72% of Cuban people is blacker than my suit. Castro's Air Force is 98% white Cubans. His army is 98% black Cubans. And you slick hip niggas think he is some kind of... Castro came to this country twice after he took over. Once he came to Washington, D.C. How many of y'all remember that? Huh? With a ticker tape parade? Huh? Huh? And then he went back and came back to Harlem. And they was laughing at him about he brought his chickens. He was worried about somebody pausing him. That's a game they play. And don't y'all remember when Jimmy Carter was president? He let Castro send us 113,000 mentally deranged prisoners. Do y'all remember that? Since when do I hate you, but I have a cookie company and you let me bake cookies in your kitchen? Y'all so evil and nasty you don't even feel God's juice. That's why I really don't even want to be around y'all. And I mean that. I mean that. My life's in jeopardy because when I'm around beautiful people, you can tune in. I'm with a white boy one day, he's the #1 killer in the world. I taught him how to fast. And they was fixing to wipe him out because he told his boss he wasn't going to do certain things. And his stockings started, you know, you men, when your stockings started unraveling and you reach down the point, he went down and picked him up, the bullet went right over his head. That's called universal order. You can't get that being uptight. Huh? Huh? You walk out here today and your car's out of gas, got a flat. That's God saying, there's something I'm trying to get you off the path, sweet love. You smile and say, thank you, Shawnee. You know how badly out of the graces of God you got to be out to get on a plane that's going to wreck. Can you imagine my plane tomorrow? That plane going to wreck. I could fall out the bed tonight in my sleep and break my kneecap, right? The car, it can be hit by. I can get there, don't have my ticket. You realize out of the graces of the universe, you got to be on a plane, don't fall every day. If you get on a plane, it's going to fall. Universal order. Do y'all know there's certain things, don't talk about it, that you can do with your hands? Kill more folks in this room? How many of y'all know that? Divine energy. Huh? You can put your hands together. Y'all know about, how many of y'all know about numerology? Y'all know there's certain ways I can do a certain thing I can do it, and y'all can tell what numbers, and once you get my numbers, you got me. 8 represents brilliance, strife, brilliance. Was I brilliant today?
Oh, yeah.
What room am I in? You remember?
Yeah, I know.
What room?
611.
611. Add that across, you get what?
8.
So I knew I didn't have to open my bag. I just didn't know what room I'm in. Didn't know what room I'm in. What day you born? October 27th. Oh, I missed that one. Who knows? Who knows her? Anybody here with you?
I know her.
You know her?
Yeah.
Okay, then you know what I'm going to say. It takes her a long time to get mad, but brother, when she get mad, everybody better get out of her way.
Yeah.
You know that, right?
Yeah.
Guess what numbers? The real white folk don't play fair. They got a machine, man, you can go when you was 10 years old and put that number in the computer and it'll tell you where you was and who you was with. Do y'all know what this thing is on technology now? And they don't mind me telling you to tell it, because that's why I say don't throw pearls to swine, because you ain't going to believe me. I couldn't care less, because I've always said truth might be validated by your ignorance. And they got another machine you can punch in there 10 years ahead and it'll tell you where you're going to be and who you're going to be with. Who got a necklace on? Who got a necklace? Let me see that. We all have that power. They just make you think. The Haitians, you know what I call them voodoo? Them is the only niggas that stay in Africa. You go to the Caribbean, them niggas look like they're British, look like they stand right here with me so it won't know it's with a stranger. I'm not worried about any of y'all to think y'all gonna trick y'all. Y'all ain't got enough money for me to trick you. That's one thing. So trust me. All you do is take a piece of jewelry, or you can take a string and put a pin. Just answer questions. That's what happens when you fast and the energy flows too much. Hold it like this here and see if it'll take my command. Okay, I know you don't belong to me, but listen to me real good and show me which way is yes. Which way is yes? Which way? Real strong. Which way is yes? See what I'm doing? I'm getting a third command. Let me try. Which way is yes? Come on, real strong. Okay, now. Which way is no? Let me know you hear me. Make a circle to the left, real big. We all have this power. The day I get on the plane, I know where the killer is. And I can either jam them or pull in divine protection. How many of y'all have heard of curly photography?
Curly
photography. Thank you, ma'am. If you do your fingers like this here, a white light comes over you. You ever see them things they do in the movie where they have the shield? That's no accident. What you do is this. You can't squeeze it too tight because you're scared. You do this here, like this, in the shield. If you have curly photography, you see a white light around. You can't nothing get through that white light. Light. You want to know what power is light. Evil is this darkness. Go look at the sun come up in the morning, smack nighttime, clean out the sky and don't make a sound. You want to know the power of light? Go in the house tonight and turn the light on and turn it back on. Nighttime, clean out the sky. I teach evil, stupid white folks, niggas that come work for me. Light, be light, be light, be light. If I went home and saw my old lady trying to shoot a roach, I'd leave her. Trying to burn, why do you get rid of roaches? You turn the light on. Huh? You want to get rid of this racism, you turn your light on. If you really want to get rid of roaches, clean up the damn house. Just leave. Ain't no roach strong enough to take the top off your greens and get down in there. They dealing with crumbs, all that stuff you left on the floor, huh? You clean that house up, no self-respecting roach gonna stay in your house. And roaches, y'all need to follow them, kill them, follow them. Roaches been here 5 billion years, they've outlived everything. Follow a damn roach. How many know if you step on a roach and kill it before it dies, you do what? A female roach. Ladies, 10 Did you know if you step on a male roach right before it dies, the universe switches it to a female roach and it lays 10 eggs too? The universe. Oh, come on now. And y'all sitting right here thinking you're going to get a little gun. If I had a gun, and I had 6 bullets in it, right? If you really want to kill me, I have to show up with how many people?
5.
Huh? Come on now. If I got a gun that shoots 6 times, if you want to kill me, you show up with 7 people. Huh? And if I get all 6 of y'all, the 7th one got me. Huh? Why do you think British don't carry guns, the cops? Why do you think these cops are so crazy in America?
Carry guns?
No, you got to go deeper than that. If I'm your child and your paint on your wall has lead in it, what's going to happen to me? So if I'm getting on, you ain't never seen a baby eating lead, baby. You ain't never heard nobody say, girl, I went on my baby and all the lead off the wall. That's bullshit, Just putting it in there will get them and you. Them and you. Okay? Now, if the lead on that wall there will affect me, huh? What about me being stupid enough to wear lead bullets around my belly? Oh, crazy. That's why they're so crazy. Lead poison. You know, more cops are killed in America today from suicide than killed in the line of duty. The number 1 occupation divorce is cops, and their second wives is whores. Why do they have to get married? Leave. Because you can't beat me in the street and go home and not beat your old lady. See, if I put some dog doodle in my pocket to throw on you tonight, and I had it there 3 days, who smelled it for 3 days, me or you? And when I had dinner with my wife and family, who smelled it? My wife and you. See how stink works? Evilness, nastiness, meanness work. It affects you more than the person you got. And when I throw it on you, I had my pocket 3 days. How long are you going to leave it on you?
Not long.
So if dog doo-doo in my pocket, because of my hate for you, makes my pocket stink, right? Then if I got meanness in my brain and nastiness because of my hate for you, whose brain is affected? Yours or mine? The difference is I can throw this coat away with the doo-doo in it. You can't throw yours away. So the same niggas you see walking around here with all evil, they do the same thing at home. I don't care if you're man or woman. The same cop that go upside your head, go upside the old lady's head, look at their children. Huh? Yeah. You remember the Cowboys? Mm-hmm. They call them gun what? Slingers. Who said that? Gun slingers. Wow. You hit a couple things tonight. You know why? You got a 7 or 4 in your birth chart. What day you born? 14. That's a 5. What month? May. That's a 5. That's 10. What year? 51. That's 6. Wow. You don't have no children. 2 miscarriages. You know what the answer to the universe number is? That's how they do with numbers, dear. I don't want to know your business. I can watch you walk and know your numbers. Once I run your numbers, I got you. Huh? How many of y'all know about auras? Every killer in this room, that color flips up. And if I see it and want to jam it, I can put my hand behind my back and do it. So say it's over. Huh? I would never choose to do it because as I said it, I'd come back. Huh? As I do it to you because of how evil I think you are, it might happen to my children. So then instead of me jamming you, I put protecting on me. I say, God don't give me no special power. Ain't no way in the world I'd been God's son. A cracker put me up on a cross All of them had little bitty heads about the size of little crumbs in front of them. That's right. I said, God, please don't give me no power. I can't handle it. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, I try to be cool, but if I don't really have, I'd be cool because I ain't got no power. If I had real serious power, and prayers work if you know how to pray. I prayed for sex. I'm not going to say pussy because that's, but I prayed at the party. Girl act like she didn't see me. 2 o'clock, she was hooked. She said, I don't know what it is, but so when the preacher said, how'd you find God? How do you know prayer? I can't tell him. You never say, well, my mother was sick and I prayed. She got well. She got up to college. And I said, I prayed for some pussy and got it. He made me stand in front of the church. I know prayers work. How you know, Brother Craig? Way back in the back. I prayed for some pussy one night and got it. He believe you said it. Well, you asked me. My children ask me, how do you know it's a God? You got to be careful when you're talking to bright, intelligent children. Huh? Because they say, well, what's God's name? Where's God live? What's God's address? Huh? I had to trick them. Put that deep look in my eyes like I know God. So I don't know why y'all get mad at children. I'm sicker than my children. Hipper than my children. Nastier than my children. More evil than my children. I've done more dirty things than my children. They ain't never chased no pussy. Drink whiskey all night long like I have. Little types. All you got to do is just be nice. And they're hip. The French is doing some research now. You know what they're finding out? That, like, what's your name there? Well, if you was my wife and I went to Africa and had an affair with a woman, you don't know nothing about it. And if you went to China and had an affair with a man, they know now when you come home, the children know. Now, they don't say, Mommy had an affair there. No, they say a bell go off to say the family unit is being threatened. And they say the more that bell go off, the more the children more likely to have criminal tendencies. Huh? So y'all go and play your games. Because you don't understand this universe. Huh? Hmm? Your mother lying? Yeah. Sugar diabetes, high blood pressure. You can get numbers. You need to get a book called Numerology and watch them numbers. And you never have to. Queen Elizabeth wake up every morning knowing what they're fixing to do. You know? And do it. You know? And so when you stop and think about how do you know there's a God? That's my children ask me. And I said, well, here's how I know. Because if God came to me and said, Richard, because God would never call you Dick. That's serious. Oh, God called you Dick. That's serious. Oh. I called my wife yesterday. I was in the toilet in Nashville, and an old, ugly, crippled white man came here. We stand up and we pee, and that dude's joint was 4 times bigger than mine. I almost had a stroke. I called my wife. I said, baby, you can't believe this. See, before we had integration, as bad as it was, that's the one thing I could believe, that you had a little joint and I had a big one. And when I saw you act like it, I dragged this foot like this. See, my joint is I make like I was scratching it like that when I was in college. My white boy was with me. I said I had to pee, and I ran and sit down on the commode. He said, why are you sitting down here to pee? I said, I hurt my back last week, and the doctor told me not to lift nothing heavy. You can't terrorize white folks now because they're looking at you. They know it. Black niggas ain't got no tails. Huh? Right. But there was a time they thought it was joints on God, but I just helped it. So what you got from a joint itch? You know, so much gone. Old white dude in his Nashville airport walked in there. I didn't even look, I wasn't looking. I just and walked outside. Him and his mate, she just smiled. I know why. So I said to my children, I know there's a God. God said, Richard, I have made this man. I put everything together except the testicles. Where do you want me to put it? That's how I know it was a God. I never thought about here. You see right here? I'm holding right now. Jump up and come down that table. And I didn't sit on it. Where'd they go? I mean, I can't get the table too slow because of my break. But normally, let's say I hold right. Where'd they go? You know it's a God. How can I do that? They're there. And I don't sit on them. You ever thought about that? That's the most intelligent thing about it. Where did they go? You ever hear men freeze to death? Their ears freeze, their nose freeze, their fingers freeze. Frostbitten toes. You never heard of frostbitten testicles? I ain't stay warm and left your body. No. Dudes commit suicide, jump out a 50-story bridge, hits the damn concrete, their eye go to another county. They can't find their heart. Testicles intact. I know there's a God. Only God would have knew to put it there. This whole body is put together. Universal. The whole body. So now dig the codes. Information from happy people. Evil folks don't have information. If they do, I don't want it. I don't want it. You ain't smiling, don't bring me nothing. Huh? My day you tell you today that we can't laugh and talk and be funny and happy. It's over. Me and this brother here, we sit out in the cold, we laugh, talk. This nigga try to look evil. This nigga, big old teddy bear. This nigga the nicest little punk you ever see. This nigga try to be just as sweet and kind and peaceful. Nigga stand up. What was the coldest you was out there, man?
15 below zero.
15 below zero. That was out the windshield. Because I read it was 42 something with the windshield. He's standing out there. They got a good job. And these niggas with a good job, no credit, cars are pretty full. They don't tolerate no pain. And ran them off. Ran them off. And all the folks is dead that I met with you. The mayor, is he still alive?
Yeah, man, still.
The police chief?
He did.
I know that. God blesses you when you blessing people. When you blessing people. And so it's that whole, that whole little thing.
Can I tell them about what happened to me when I was sick? Can I call you?
Yeah, when you were sick. Here, come up, testify.
I was sick. I was sick in the hospital.
He was.
I came down with diabetes. I worked 2 jobs and went to school full time.
And drove cabs in between.
No.
I was in the hospital. They would shoot me up with insulin. And they said, well, you're going to be an insulin-dependent diabetic.
And that means,
Gregory.
wait. No, that means your joint ain't going to get hard. I really didn't need to tell him much more than that.
Anyway.
That inspired him. Whatever it is you want me to do, I'll do.
You right about that. Anyway, I called Dick. Oh, yeah, no problem. Go get you some raw green beans. Eat you some raw
string beans.
String beans.
String beans have more insulin in them than insulin. Oh.
I ate the green beans for 2 days. They let me out of the hospital. I did not become insulin dependent. They gave me medication to take twice a day. I don't take no medication now.
All right.
Because diabetes comes from us reversing a process which is a universal force. The universal force tells us we don't need to eat all this junk that we're eating. Putting the poison in our bodies and jacking our systems out of the system of the universe.
Yeah, well, let me.
You know more about that.
No. Let me tell you what. The universe talks to you. To black folks, it says because of a racist system, you need sweetness in your life. It means liberation. We think it means sugar. It talks to you. Huh? It talks to you. I went to see a doctor the other day. He said, how much fish you eat? I said, none. He said, I see all this mercury. He said, you eat sea salt? We said, well, if you can take salt, sea salt, forget the sea salt comes from the same place the fish come from. So if there's mercury, And so when you in love with yourself, if you take that chain there in your hand, say, is there any sickness building up in my body I should know about? And if it says yes, then the next question is, can it be cured with herbs and vitamins? If you say yes, you get your vitamin herb book and say, will vitamin C cured? If you say no, then you know you don't need it. If you say yes, then you ask how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. It'll tell you. Just take you some time. And when you know it's talking to you, you go home and I don't know if that ball game will be tonight. Ask who's going to win the ball game tonight. And then if you get it right, you test it to make sure that you're on the right, the right target. So now, watch this. When you in order. See, do you live in the house with the big kitchen now? What? I don't know what that.
Not real big.
What is not real big? It's not big, or it's not?
It's not.
It's not, okay. The house you lived in before was the big kitchen? Mm-hmm. The one you had to have the roof fixed, which one is that? That one or the one you in now? The other one, okay. Now you can get that just from numbers, okay? And you can run them numbers. And that's why these folks who's in charge don't play fair. They know the numbers, they know what the numbers mean. And that's what Christmas and Easter, and they figured out that all at once now, Christmas comes 200, how many days?
7.
After what?
Good Friday.
7 days. So if Good Friday changed, so it can never come before December 25th. It comes late as January the 6th, the 12 days of Christmas, right? Now here's what Christmas is about. The top of your head is what pole? North. Yeah, you got it. So that means the top of your head is the North Pole, the bottom of your feet is what? South. Yeah. Right now, right here now, where's the North Pole? Not us, the North Pole is, and South Pole is down there, right? That's where the cold weather is. That's where the ice is. Not up there. There was never ice at the North Pole until the planet flipped over.
Okay.
And the reason they all scared now, because there's an ice buildup at the South Pole of 2.5 billion tons a day. And the planet's wobbling to the left. That's why you black women, all women, but black women really gonna come into power because you think out this left hemisphere. All women come to the left. But it's moving, it's wiggling. And the real white boys know it. That's why they merging now. They forming companies with companies they don't even like. Trying to get ready for this thing. Huh? It flipped over 6,000 years ago. No, sorry. Yeah, 6,000, 10,000, 42,000. They ain't got no flip all the way over.
Okay.
The world ain't come to it.
No.
But it flips.
Right.
And that's what they scared now. That's why they've been building cities in outer space since 1962. Okay? They stay all kinds of stuff. They take spaceship, what are they doing up there? They're not lying to you about stuff happening here. And so it's that whole, they were out there trying to melt ice. Remember that woman had cancer down there? They said it cost almost $5 million to drop her stuff because she's working down there. They're trying to melt that ice. They tried everything. It's the Jupiter Menace. When Jupiter lined up, which was May the 5th, the year 2000, it's over. What it means is, if I pull out a gun and click it, that's called the trigger. Now, when I get ready to shoot, see, if I got to pull it and click it, you got a few minutes. But once I click it, so the trigger has been clicked. And they don't know when this thing going to flip, but they're ready. They got going to have 250,000 people out here. Had a white boy ask me, you want to go? Yeah. He didn't ask about the family. Huh? I said, oh, no, I appreciate it, but I've been on one trip with y'all. That trip didn't work out too well. If I went on a trip, on that slow boat, with this fast one. So I said, no, thank you very much. But I know you're sincere, but not me. How many of y'all read the book, Behold the Pale Horse? Huh?
I read bits and pieces.
No. If you read the whole thing. Cooper, they killed him 2 weeks before he finished it. He died for that book. Found him dead in West Virginia. I love the hip niggas. I think they're so hip. They read that book. Did you see the movie Independence Day? You see the movie Men in Black? That came out of chapter 12 of Behold the Pale Horse. Who's read Behold the Pale Horse? Do you see where we signed treaties with the space people? And in the back they got the congressional documents. Y'all think y'all so hip. The niggas that give us that a white boy paid for his life. I'll get you. Paid for his life. For his life. And Eisenhower, with his little old military booty, he told them space people, they punched him upside his head. So we had a heart attack out there in the desert. And when Truman's man, Forrester, all that's in the book. All that's in the book. Y'all walk around with your jive self. The stuff is here. Huh?
All right.
So he's here. Space people been and took this thing. Inquiry was here, baby. Inquiry was here. National Enquirer owns 700 radio stations, newspapers, and television, including magazine 16. They just put that over there for their codes. They were talking about Whitney Houston was a drug addict before most folks even know she was a drug addict. But they do it in a way. Anybody want to sue them? Well, they have pornography on the internet. Y'all know about that? They take celebrities' heads and put it on. And my sister's son panicked. They did me one Sunday. He called his mother. She called my wife. My wife called me laughing. Said, the Lord just called you. Did he call her? He said, they got you on the internet. So I called my sister and said, call your boy and ask me, do I have a little joint? If they got me with a little joint, we'll sue. If they haven't got me with a little joint, then I have a lie. He called back and said, hey, it look pretty good to me. I called my wife and said, hey, baby, it look pretty good to me. We know they lying, but nobody know that but you. You don't think people see me with my pants up. So I just thank goodness. You know, I mean, if you don't know me, so if you saw me on the internet, what you say, ooh, niggas talking pretty good, really. Now, what the hell? You know, I try to tell them big niggas don't give them a cancer anyway. You know, I lied to them. That was before y'all started hearing about breast cancer. She said, honey, you sure was right. You tell her there's a little box over to the left, you just tap everything. Yeah, it's conversation. So, when you look at the numbers in the movies, Stephen King, they tried to kill him. And the guy that did it was an alcoholic drunk, a jailbird. They found him what? No, before that, not guilty. Then they found him dead mysteriously, and to show you how God blessed me, a white girl called me, and she said, the strangest thing happened to me today. She up in New Hampshire said, a girl called her out the clear blue sky and said, a friend of mine just told me that drug enforcement went in, the boy they hit her and confiscated all his records from the pharmacies. So that means they got him in his pills. That's what they got him in his pills. Now I know that. So I get on the radio. Like tomorrow, I'll get on the radio and maybe save Gore. Because the word I got from a friend of mine with French intelligence that 10 days before this election, they're supposed to take Cheney out. She's had 3 heart attacks, 1 more, nobody be suspicious, right? Who do you think they're going to replace it with? Colin Powell? Huh? I get you. I get you. That mess up the dramatics now. I'll teach you about getting this Jew. Because who would ever believe that a white boy, governor of Texas, and his brother, governor of Florida, can't win it? Because you know ain't no Jews going to die in Florida after the election. I tell brothers, y'all want to make some money, go to Florida and sell walkers and get you the vote. Serious? But that's the game's whole craziness. Right? So in Stephen King, they tried to kill him. That's when he said he'd never write again. They must have went and put that pistol to his head. Why did they get mad at him? The Green Mile. How many of y'all saw the Green Mile? Yeah. The Green Mile. Huh? Hey, nigga in the Green Mile? What was his name? John what? What's those initials? Stephen King took a mentally retarded nigga and made him Jesus Christ. And the boys closed in and said, you punk. And most of y'all went to see it and didn't like it. I didn't say you. I said you. I know niggas all over the planet. Didn't like it. Huh? The one they should not like was Matrix. The Green Mile. How many of y'all saw it? The 2 people that got the electric chair headed to him, those were the 2 thieves on the cross. The one thief that looked at him and said, Jesus, I repent when you remember me, when you get to heaven. That was the Indian that got the electric chair. They said to Tom Cruise, if I repent now, will I be forgiven? Huh? That white woman he kissed in the bed, that was Mary Magdalene. And remember, the woman that Jesus met at the well and said, this is not the water of life, I'm the water of life. Drink me and you have every time he say my name's John Coffee, he would always say like to drink. He never said John Coffee without saying like to drink. Hmm? And them two white girls he couldn't save, that was Lazarus. But then they played with the movie because, you know, they'd have to make it, they made like he said, I got there too late. Hmm? And Jesus didn't heal people, he took what out of them? Spirits. No. Demons. Demons. Huh? What you got in you now, huh? Have nothing to do with sin and violation, has something to do with heat and cold. It's called parasites. And the woman that wrote the book to wipe out anything in your body in an hour and 1 minute is called Heal the what? Clark. She wrote a book called Cure for All Diseases. And Tony Brown had her on his show for 3 different weeks, and the boys called him up and said, you better have some straight doctors to refute everything she's saying. But it was too late. It was already out there. The most important book you will ever read in your life is Hilda Clark's book, because she got a zapper you can buy for $120, or she teach you how to go to Radio Shack and make it for $38.
It's after 8 o'clock.
Okay,
What's the name of that book?
A Cure for All Disease. Okay, now, fastly out. In the book, y'all need to go back and see Men in Black. That's about shape-shifting, y'all. Who's heard of shape-shifting? That's about folks turning into reptiles. And a lot of black folks have never put into slavery because when them white folk would grab them, niggas would turn around and be gorillas and shit. Tell niggas, now, you can be evil if you don't know how to shape-shift.
Okay.
Shape-shift. Huh? Did y'all see the movie on HBO not too long ago called Wolfen? Huh? About all the white folks was being killed in New York City. Might have been some black folks too, but that rich white boy was killed. And they went and got that homicide cop that had been suspended because he beat up a woman or someone's girlfriend, and they brought him back, and the brother Hines, Gregory Hines, was the coroner. And that joint they went into looked like a redneck cracker hillbilly tavern in Memphis, but it was an Indian ignorant joint in Manhattan. And they went in there, and the Indian said, we wonder when you was coming. Says, yeah, you murdered. Said, we don't call it murder, we call it hunting. We've been turning into wolves. We've been able to do that all we want to do. Ain't a damn thing you can do about it. So best you do is just get out and do that. You'd be surprised some of the neighbors you live in next to. Hmm? That's what Wolfman was about. Huh? He always called shape-shifting. Now, quickly, and we're out because this brother got to pay overtime. Now, listen, quickly. Now, finish Christmas, you quick. Listen. In Men in Black, remember? The front part of that movie, just the first 5 minutes deserved the Academy Award. They had 2 redneck cracker sheriffs that pulled over that illegal alien Mexican bus. All right, you know the routine, remember? All right, you know the routine. That hunker just dripping there. Now you know that. And 2 serious white boys pulled up, remember? In black. And them redneck got scared, remember? And they were so courteous, remember? They talked to the Spanish brother in Spanish. You had to read what they were saying. Remember that? That's just bad. Remember that? Said, all right, go to have a good time. Catch later. Except that ugly MF there. You come with me. Remember that? And they carried him back to the back. And what did he do? Shoot. Y'all better be careful what y'all looking at. And don't know what y'all looking at. Especially you niggas that think y'all hip. You better real careful what you be looking at. Because it burns a hole clean through your soul. Because you almost got it, but you. And so, Christmas Day. This is what, Paul? This is what?
Salt.
And you know this little soft spot here is called the chimney. That's what 98% of the heat comes out your head. So this is what, Paul? And this is called what? And that gland under there before they change it is called Santa. Huh? Santa. And every time you breathe, let's say it's a hole here in your skull. Every time you breathe in, your skull rolls back. And when you breathe forward, it knocks a little piece of oil down in there. And that lubricates you, keep you young. On Christmas Day, but if you don't know Christmas Day is 270 days, you get enough oil that day, and one day you get all year. But you have to be fasting and whoever lived, who was in England or London or England doing Christmas. Anybody here? Anybody know they call it the day after Christmas called Boxer Day? Mm-hmm. Okay, on Christmas Day, nobody see you. It's the next day you deliver the gifts. Now the Queen don't teach them that, but she knows it. So what they tell you now on Christmas Day, Santa come from what pole? North. And comes down what? Now how big old fat man gonna get through a chimney and leave gifts for the what? Children. That's what that whole ritual is about. But if you don't know what day Christmas is, you can't get the order because you be out doing it and doing it. And never celebrate your birthday on your birthday. Your birthday is always celebrated the day before. That's the day the party went on inside your mother's belly, because up until then you wasn't drinking nothing but her pee. That's all that's in that sack. And when you get ready to come out of there, baby, you swinging and partying, and then when the baby's born, they quiet that day, right? They just lay up on your belly. Ain't no party, huh? Christmas, celebrate the birthday of what? Christ, right? So the party is called Christmas Eve party, right? New Year's Eve party, right? The party is always the day before your birthday or you violate. Hitler was born April the 20th, huh? So the party would be what? So they blew up Waco on the 19th. They blew up Oklahoma City on the 19th. That whole Nazi thing. Huh? But you sit around and Grace Stevens. She saw the man who killed King, ran past her. But he wasn't the man who killed King. The man who killed King is in my book. This book here, right here. Now you know his wife's alive, and if Earl Clark didn't kill him, a Memphis cop, you know I'd be sued. Because this book already sold 8,000 copies, already been sold as a movie. Big bucks, it will sell over 1 million copies. So you know she come at me, please. So this guy ran his place, Grace Stevens, and he was the one who was supposed to kill James O. Ray. But no questions asked. But James O. Ray, the time started getting a slow leak, so unbeknown to the folks that set the stuff up, he went to the filling station. And by the time he got ready to go back, he realized something happened, so he started cutting. He didn't know they were after him. And when he left the car, FBI agent Wilson found the car, and Wilson have testified now that he saw some names, some addresses in the car, and he called one of them, and it was the old nightclub that Ruby. Who said that? Who said that? Jack Ruby. Jack Ruby. See, he scared so bad, he didn't turn the stuff into the FBI. He said, man, because he knew they would kill him. Earl Clark, shot from below, jumped over the embankment, and a black brother in a cab 58, Oliver, what's in the book? He didn't know King was killed. He just followed this white dude up to the corner. He turned left and got in the police cruiser. But Army intelligence was across the street up on the roof, and had they missed, they was going to take him out. So we got all the documents now under the Freedom of Information Act. There's more information in this book than in the other book out, because we just got the information. And they brought in Earl Clark's wife to testify at the King trial. Husband, I just come in to clear my husband's name. And they tricked that witch. Under oath, Earl Clark, where was he when King was killed? Oh, he was at home in bed. How long had he been there? He'd been there all day, sick. He was sick, he didn't go to work yet. No. Well, when he found out King was here, he heard over the police radio. They didn't have him have the radios in.
Oh.
He didn't get it with that. He said, well, what happened there? Well, my husband figured it'd be a lot of violence, so he decided he'd go to work. And what did he do there? Well, he couldn't get dressed because all his uniforms was in the cleaners, so they got it all fixed up. He'd been in the house all day because all his uniforms was in the cleaners, right? I said, well, how did he get to work? He said, well, I went to the cleaners and got his uniforms up. I said, well, do you know what time after King was killed? It was something after 6. It was 6:03. Do you know what time the cleaners closed, Miss Clark? No, 5 o'clock.
That ends that.
Greg Stevens was the only person that got identified for the government, James L. Ray, for them to bring him back, because the English law said if you expedited for robbery, they cannot pin murder on you once you get back. Whatever you come back for, the law say that's what they're trying for. So when James L. Ray was arrested in England, they arrested him for one thing, and one thing only, and that was jailbreak from Missouri State Penitentiary in Jefferson State, Missouri. So in order to try him for that, they had to get the one woman that saw this man walk past her, which was Greg Stevens, old snaggle-tooth, ugly, uneducated, common law. This woman was so out of it that the thug she was living with had beat her up so many times in a 21-year period, 19 times. We started doing the research. She had gone to the city of county hospitals with fractured or broken bones. That's the atmosphere she lived in. And so the FBI go and show her James L. Ray's picture. And this old snaggle-tooth hillbilly woman said, that's not him. And the FBI said, lady, you misunderstand us. We not. I got a chapter dedicated to this white woman and call it Amazing Grace. I'd rather be with that old hillbilly snaggle-tooth, probably nigger hater, than be with some of y'all. What's her integrity? She said to the FBI, that's not him. They said, we're not asking you, we telling you. She said, that's not him. Snaggle-tooth hillbilly white woman. Thought a nigger been killed? So they leave and come back and say, you know, it's $90,000 reward. It looked like the reward probably go to $3 million. The woman living in a flop house. She said, it's $90,000 be yours this evening. She said, not him. Huh? So they go see her husband, who was drunk today, and we documented that the cop, he called a cab, and the cab driver came, he was unconscious on the floor. So they go see the husband and say, you know, you'd be rolling in the doorknob if your wife would just say that this man here is the one that killed the king. So what do you mean? He went upstairs and whooped her, beat her up. She says, not him. 2 days later, 3 Memphis homicide cops, 4 FBI agents came. Grace, Stevens, put your coat on. Come with us. Carried 11 miles outside of town to a mental hospital. The doctor would never accuse the FBI. Memphis cops are lying on this woman. They say she has these high and low depressions. And she's suicidal. She thinks she witnessed the murder of Dr. Martin Luther King. Committed her for 11 years. 11 years. And I get excited over some of you niggas with your fists balled up and talking that y'all bullshit talk. You ain't been put to the test. Talk about who you would shoot. You ain't gonna shoot no FBI agent. Nigga, if you would, how come you ain't shot one? Y'all be talking all that old talk. You niggas be better off on dope. At least you go to sleep. Huh? One day we sitting over in Europe drinking that. Wow, crazy. All white folks. Talking about Great Stevens. You know, white boy do when you get that 5th drink. By God, Dick, let's go get her. I was drinking them Long Island iced teas. If you don't know about it, you don't know about it. If you do know about it, I was on my 19th one. Because I had to be crazy than the white boys.
Let's go.
Mm-hmm. That's right. I swear to God. I said, let's go. And let me tell you, when they rolled back into the United States, baby, they knew every brick in that building. They knew who the architect was. They knew who was all lesbian, who was gay. They knew who was screwing, who was white. When them white boys showed up, you talk about reconnaissance. They know who the guards were. They know where we was going to go. I meet them down in Memphis. We go over to recon. And I get to say, wait a minute, man, you know we get caught. I'm the one going to jail. So I ain't going. One of the worst mistakes I ever made. I flew back to Chicago. They went in there, crawled along the side of the bed, got into her room, and flashed that light in her face. And actually, she don't know they coming to get her, right? Huh? She said to them, and I wasn't there to hear, I tell tell you now what I tell you then. That wasn't a man. 11 years later. When they came to Chicago, they carried her to L.A. Came to Chicago, reported to me. It was on Saturday before Mother's Day. And I said to my wife, tomorrow's Mother's Day, I won't be with you. I'm going to fly out to California, be with old Snaggletooth, Flophouse like woman. And they never had a baby in her life, but exemplified what God means about mother. That's when I loved her. Told her I loved her. And I see black folks. I know how many of y'all, I ain't talking about y'all in this room, with double cross for just a 6-pack. This old white woman turned all that down. Grace. So it's there. We demonstrating in front of a federal, we locked down the door, and this old white woman is standing next to me, and something wrong, man. I think maybe she'd have hit a woman, something wrong. I'm looking at her, and it's cold, like 12 below zero in East St. Louis, Illinois, man. And we locked down, and the word went out, don't do nothing to them till the real hit folks come in tomorrow. They sending marshals in mixed up with them killers. And I'm out there cold, and this woman ain't shivering. And about 4 o'clock in the morning, my tooth bothered me, and I leaned over and said, who are you? She said, what do you mean? I said, I'm too cold to really think right, but something wrong. Who are you? Tell me about your life. You don't know about that ship called the Spirit of St. Louis at 900 Jews got on in 39? And y'all know the story? In Germany. Went to Cuba, they wouldn't let them land. Came to America, they wouldn't let them land. They turned it back around and sent them back over there, and Hitler killed all of them except the 2 babies they let off, and she was one of the children. Standing, demonstrating with us about Haiti. This little bitty old white woman. She was one of them. The joy of the civil rights movement is a mess. I got to thinking one day, out of all the toothaches I had, I'm 68 years old, it wouldn't reach a day. So that means all those hours in 68 years, 24 hours, toothache, the rest of it is joy. Come in the morning. And when they told me last year at this time I had cancer, accidentally found it out. I said, the worst, how many of y'all know? Say the worst cancer you could have. Lymphoma. Oh, lymphoma. But see, it's the type you get if you work in a nuclear plant. Obviously, the government hit me, but I call my folks. I say, hey, can't what's he said, that's some rotten food we had at Georgia Brown. That means go to Georgia Brown because, you know, we got you tapped out. So I go, he brought me the report. They hit you 2 places, here and in Europe. He said, where you get your papers? Crazy white boy be there tomorrow. Y'all better be careful about these homeless folks, especially the ones that ain't got no cups. They ain't what y'all think they are. Talking to with the earplug. You ever see what the earplugs in? I think it is the radio. God's going to send me. You know, you don't know how to do it. You do it with a satellite. And let me tell you what it is. Like we leave here today, satellite. How many of y'all on the internet at home? Do you know there's a certain code you can push in? And when you push that code in, put your address in, your house shows up on it?
Yeah. There's a site where you can actually come within feet of where you are.
So then if me and you put her address in and stayed in there, we can tell when everybody leave our house, right? And we can go and rob her down to the bone, right? It ain't got to do with you have. You don't need it, isn't it? It's there. Okay? It's there. So they're pulling the satellite tonight. When y'all walk out the door here to pick up everybody, and if they want to get you, they zap you tonight with the microwave. But the God is good. I laugh all the time. And my son's a chiropractor, and I got these hernias I've had because I used to steal coal when I was a little boy. I didn't like being poor and my mama talking about no crazy to talk. So we got smart. You ever see them trains with the coal on it? So we about 15 miles from my house. So we go get up on them trains, get on our back, kick coal off for 10 miles. That was our winter hustle. You know, the poles, they be stacked and we just kick coal off and we come back with our baskets and our wagons. It was a blind woman I used to love to sell wood to because we'd bring her the same bag. She thought she'd feel it. And we'd tip by and take the same bags out. She said, my wood still ran out quick last week. I said, I know God, I got to give me, messing with the blind. I told Stevie one of the other day, the family, they said, he was talking about getting this operation, get his eyes, man. I said, boy, if you ever get yourself back, see from them outfits, they got you working there. What did I just say before that? So I had these hernias. So my son, here, come on. See that? It's still wrong. Right there. Any bullet come this way, it goes around. They got all this shit out there. They got all this stuff out there. You serious? Queen Elizabeth, they don't get cancer, and then why? They got a machine. How many of y'all heard of the Rice machine? The Rice, huh? The Rice, you know what? I got one. The Zapper is one thing. The Rice, now, with the Rice, you got to drink a lot of water. The Zapper, you take the walnut, and that thing called manna. But the Rice machine, 60 years ago, the great Caruso, you know, sir? It was his friend. He saw Caruso break a glass with his voice, and Rice was so intelligent. Rice said, Jesus Christ, if you can do that with a vibration, I should be able to heal. So we put a machine together to cure cancer, sugar diabetes, even runny nose. Right? Then they killed him. He was alcoholic. He went to the hospital and they got him. So about 20 years ago, this girl got hold of this information that her father and Rice was friend. She's a big scientist at USC. So she showed it, and they said, hey, let's put this together. So they put 15 scientists together. And Dr. Milborn Wright headed it. So what they did, they injected, they really made the machine better because of technology. So Dr. Milborn Wright headed it, and they injected 300 white mice with cancer, cured them all. So then they went to their cancer hospital and got 21 cancer patients. Cured them all. He sent out a press release that said, here you see we was able to expand on the right system, and we having a press conference, an hour before the press conference, he's fatally poisoned. Lab burnt down. We go there to check on the other scientists. None of them act like, oh no, we wasn't working on nothing. And so as God, works, I got the machine last Christmas Eve. That was my Christmas gift. And I called the woman and she said, we can meet after the first of the year, Anita. And she was so paranoid. It's awful. And she said, well, I sound crazy because 83 people have been killed over this machine, but I got a new one that's coming out that'll make this obsolete. It'll be out by February the 3rd. When I picked it up, she was dead. But I know how to be cold-blooded because my white friends told me, I talked to the lawyer and I said, look, if Henry Ford killed everybody in Detroit, it shouldn't affect the ride in my car. Give me that machine. I got it for all my friends, my family. That's what Queen Elizabeth did. Why do you think them hoes, them rich white folks don't have cancer or sugar diabetes? How do you think? Well, I know we pay. Real quick, what were you going to say, Brother Lucas?
The movie Red,
I didn't see it.
It's supposed to be coming out.
Oh, okay.
They just talked about how mankind is supposed to take the planet.
Oh well, what was the one they did with Shad? The one just came out. Mm-hmm. Here, black folks are talking about police brutality, and they show a glamorous nigga in Hollywood playing a black cop whipping black folks, and then they wonder what y'all complaining about. And black folks use the word nigga, say the N-word. Can you imagine if all of us was in Russia and hear black folk complain about the N-word? What's the N-word? It's the X amount of letter in the alphabet. Are y'all crazy? The word is nigga. Ain't no way you can water down a damn swastika. A swastika is a swastika. There ain't no code for it. The word is nigga. And I hope it upsets everybody, black and white in the country, until everybody stop using it. But if you have a brain tumor and this is the brain surgeon, he got to cut your head. And whether you like it or not, in order to help you, I got to hurt you. Why? I didn't put the tumor in your head, but I'm going to be the one to get it out. White boys invented the word nigga, and I put it on my book, and it cost me millions because people were scared to ask for it, but I snatched the word from him and took it and gave it to black folks. And I couldn't give a damn how you. I don't use the word. Nobody ever told me that before. I put it on nigga. I hope, and it's going to work, and it's going to work, and it's going to work, and then the healing. And y'all better try to heal yourself because it's seeking to get good now because the evil folks is fixing to take a hell of a price. And if y'all ain't careful, y'all going with them. Y'all go with them. And finally, because I'm sorry, real quick.
Yeah, I was thinking about the presidential debates, the last one.
Yeah.
And how dumb Bush appeared to be.
Yeah, that's always.
Now,
we can do it quick now because the brother's paying
may be
overtime.
the president of the United States.
Listen, let me do this real quick. It's in the book. And I'm saying that to sell the book. I already got my money up front. I don't trust nobody with my account. I got my money. But on the way out, I have some cards up here. You can get the book. But listen, there's a thing called the curse of the white man. Have y'all ever heard of it? Curse. The Indians put it down. And ever since they killed that in his dying breath, he said that every 20-year cycle, your president will die in office. And if you go all the way back before Lincoln, the 20-year cycle, and he said, then the Indian said, madman, before he died, he said in 75, the president to go on the 80-year cycle because Mars is not in place will be wounded, but he won't die. But after that, for the next 200 years, okay, you belong to us. It's the 20-year cycle. So the president don't count as the vice president. That's what it's about. And if you really want to have some fun, go get Encyclopedia Britannica for next year. So if it comes out in January, it must be printed when? No, right? Okay. Huh? December. They've been ready since June. They'll list the president. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm not really sorry. But they said we was. Oh, that was my fault. Because I was talking about kindness.
Yeah.
Boy, and black folks, I don't care what y'all are. You ain't got no choice. I ain't never played that old Democrat Republican except now history. If Congress, Democrat take over Congress, 4 black people for the first time head chairman in 1970. What does that mean? It means this old redneck cracker congressman here that ain't got no black folks in her district all at once got to come to Conyers for their money. Huh? Got to come to, Ways and means for their money, and then they make deals. Then all at once we don't have to worry about police brutality because Kanye's control. Y'all realize the history? And y'all need to take that day off and see to it. I got a woman, 101 years old. I'm taking her to the poll, and I'm going to fly home. My wife says, after about, no, I want to be there and pull the trigger on this one. Supreme Court, and that's odd for me to say. I'm trying to help y'all. Because I think America is vicious and nasty. This whole year deserved the nasty of the nasty. We deserve Bush. Okay? What have we done to qualify to do better? And especially black folks. You go all over the world killing folks and then come back and mump when they slap your mom. But you wouldn't let these crackers mess with your car. We go outside here today and find out cops have killed a brother or a sister. All we're going to do is go out there and find out all y'all's cars been smashed by a cop. Y'all run these police out this city.